Welcome back to Rules to Thrive. Today we sit down with Cassandra Rodrigues. Cassandra was born in India, growing up in a 500 square foot apartment and spending most of her time with her mom on a train to get to school. After accidentally landing an interview with Google because other students were delayed to arrive due to rain, Cassandra lands a job at Google where she works for over 18 years, navigating multiple roles, promotions, and countries. Cassandra is now a senior vice president at Core AI at Publicis Group, and I can't wait for you to hear her story. Let's get started. Cassandra, welcome to Rules to Thrive. This is our season 2. We're very excited for our bit of a pivot, still highlighting incredible stories and incredible leadership stories, which I'm super excited for you to share your career journey with our audience. But really, we're focused on immigration stories, people that start from nothing and build an incredible life. And our goal is to really share those blueprints with our audience and inspire them to, my favorite question to ask is, what would you do if you couldn't fail? But before we get into the heavy stuff, let's start with an introduction. Can you please introduce yourself, where you're from, what do you do? Let's get to know you a little better.
Awesome. I love the authenticity. So I'm Cassandra Rodrigues. I'm currently the SVP of Publicis Group, really focused on solutioning AI through AI transformation, marketing intelligence. But the real me, I am a twin mom. I have a boy and a girl who are now going to 3rd grade, so they're 8 years old. Born and brought up in Mumbai. I like to start from really introducing myself to say, the values around immigration, and focus on I'm literally a small town girl, born and brought up in the outskirts of Mumbai, not proper Mumbai as well. Lived in a 400 square feet apartment. No cell phones, no laptops. That point in time, this is India. Really no bedroom, had a single space for myself. And my parents are not into business. My mom is a teacher. My father worked in the hotel industry. Worked sometimes even 2 jobs to provide me the best possible thing and the best possible opportunity, what I'd say, is education. And they work really hard. And I think I've seen them hustle and thrive and really put their entire energy for their family and for me. And as I think about education, I started to think big for myself. And, when I was little, I always thought about, I'm doing this for my parents. And it kept on increasing the bar of what I wanted to see. I joke around with my friends till date. I think I, at one point, thought that a banking receptionist would give me some money and good money. And that was, my goal. And then I wanted to go and see a different country. And then an air hostess at one point was like, oh, this is great.
That's a very clear.
Yeah, it's just you bank, then you go in the air.
The proximity to the money's there.
That's right.
You're on the airplane, the proximity to distance, it made
Exactly.
sense.
So I started I used to travel. I keep on saying my story is about living in Mumbai local trains. 13 years of my life, I actually traveled from the place that I lived 30 kilometers away to just get to an good English medium school. And I did that commute along with my mother daily at 6 a.m. in the morning, rush hours, taking the train right when I was in kindergarten to 10th grade. And things didn't stop right from there. Every time I thought about the next school, the next college, it was, okay, I want to go to the next best one and the next best one. It was further and further. So I joke around saying I lived my life in the Mumbai local train, studying, praying, eating. Everything was probably done in the local train. Got my opportunity to go to one of the really prestigious colleges in Mumbai, St. Xavier's. And from there, I had an opportunity and had a scholarship to essentially go to Switzerland and do an actual course for 3 weeks at St. Gallen's University. That was the first time I asked my parents, hey, can you give me 25,000 rupees? Just mind, it's rupees. And I had the fear to say, I knew it was tough for them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
I live by means. but I've got the scholarship and I just need 25,000 rupees and I will return that money back. Because I knew what it meant for them. And at that point in time, I was, my mom was feisty. She is like go getter, an achiever in herself, and she was like, yeah, she should go.
Yeah.
They made arrangements for it, and that was the first time. It really felt like I was seeing something very different in a culture, in a world that I haven't seen before. And it's like being in the world out there a little bit.
And just so for our audience, in dollars at that time, what do you think is the equivalent of today of asking your parents for that?
So just into perspective, right? Like $80 or like $80 is, I would say 8,000 bucks at that point in time.
Yeah.
Finished my bachelor's in business, and Google came on campus. And there's a long story on how I got into Google, but I got this job at Google. And then I was literally like, after 6 years, I was like, no, this is not it. If I am sitting down here in India and selling, what stops me from doing that? Being in market.
Yeah.
And I had this opportunity. I was supporting Australia at that point in time. So I traveled to Australia as well. And then I was like, okay, got this job opportunity, came to the States, and kept doing what I know to do, which is ask, challenge. Nobody is there. Like, if you fail on your own terms, be proud, let it go behind and walk. So in terms of like, when you say, hey, Cassie, can you introduce yourself? I'm that one person who'll never be afraid to ask, who'll take failures as the next best opportunity, and who'll be there saying, you know what, let's push boundaries, because that's the only thing I know, hard work and pushing boundaries.
Yeah. How do you land a job at Google?
The job at Google, I'm the only daughter, so I have no siblings. And Mumbai was the next best metropolitan city in India. And it's the financial capital. So, what would you think of financial capital? Great. Go join JP Morgan. Go join E&Y, American Express. There's like lots of jobs there. And that's why I was like, I'm going to be a banking person or something like that. And I finished business studies at Xavier's. And Xavier's, me being an overachiever, I was also managing a lot of, hiring and stuff like that for the college in itself. And Google came on campus. And at that point in time, the accessibility that I had to technology was so low. I still say, like, computers was very expensive at that point in time. So until I was doing my three-year like graduation, I think I got my a physical computer at my home when I was in the second year or something like that. As I was leading all of like hiring, not just hiring, but like, placements for my college, Google came on campus and they were looking for a role in Hyderabad. And I was like, no, they were looking for something called AdWords, if anyone knows this back in the day. That doesn't exist. Like, the name doesn't exist anymore. Let's talk about marketing, just like Google Ads. But AdWords back in the day, and I was like, oh, this must be something related to English. And I'm like, no, this is not what I want to do. And I knew of Google because you'd go and log in, google.com. Who doesn't know that? My parents would look at me like, what Google? What are you talking about? And it was fortunately on when the Google team arrived for interviews on that day, there was like it was pouring, and there were like certain areas that were flooded, so trains were running late. So the people who had signed up to come for interviews, they were all late to the campus, and I was there receiving those folks, and it was almost 45 minutes in. I was hosting them. So my job was to be that liaison between the people who have been selected for the interview. And what the folks asked me? It's like, yeah, we're waiting for 40 minutes. I was like, you want tea, coffee? Can I get you something? They're like, yeah, we're just waiting. I was like, yeah, it's pouring. It's a very rainy day in Mumbai. And then they asked me, so while we're waiting, why don't we start with your interview?
Yeah, like what interview?
And I was, in my head, I'm going like, what should I do?
Yeah.
And it's so offensive.
Yeah.
Like, I feel offended to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interviewing for this role.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah,
Sure.
sure. Yes, I'm interviewing for this role.
You just raised your hand in the moment.
Yeah,
That's
that's
crazy.
me. That's me.
crazy.
See, like you look at
No
opportunity.
preparation, nothing.
I knew, like,
knew of
I
Google.
had to research about
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
company, and like I knew what role they're coming for, of
You were
course,
telling the
because I had to
students.
like prep the placements
Yeah,
committee as well. So I was like, okay, we'll do this. I was like, can you give me 15 minutes? I just need, because I didn't have a resume on hand.
Oh my God.
So I was like, and they were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I ran to the computer lab in
print
my
it out.
college. I was like, turn it on, turn the lights on, everything on, because not all the students were on campus. Got a printout because I was in final year. So I had a resume and everything ready, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, get the printout, got the
And
printout.
by that time, what did you have on the resume? What was?
No, it was because I had like very minimal experience. I had like everything. I had like a little bit of marketing that I had done. I had a little bit of like smaller stints that I had done.
Volunteering at school.
Volunteering at school, everything. Like it was a proper college grad getting, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
got this and got this resume out. And I was like, okay, I was like, in my mind, I was walking through a long corridor to reach them. And in my head, I'm like, okay, AdWords, like what are they trying to do? What are they trying to do? Okay, like I'm thinking like keywords. Okay,
Yeah.
like they're thinking about keywords. Okay, they're trying to like put ads. Okay, so they will try to review the ads. And this is all like going through my head. I'm not in front of a computer. I'm walking. And that walk is like a 6-minute walk.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm
your
walking.
preparation.
That's my preparation. So I sat down, like I was walking through the corridor. I reached there, like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And it was just a very authentic conversation.
Yeah.
Sure, they asked me a few questions, and I was like, yeah, I know something, and there are things that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was okay. I think it just like let down the barriers a little bit,
Yeah.
made me very comfortable.
Yeah.
I just shared my thoughts
Yeah.
with full confidence, right? And I was like, this is what I know.
Yeah.
That question, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And they got to know me a lot more as a person. And I went from one round to the second round to the third round, and like, okay, interview's done. If you were hiring, Olga, I would say, give me 5 things that you would hire for.
That's a good question. I would say I care more about grit, resilience than I do about experience.
Mhm.
And I prefer people to not always have the answers. But if you don't have the answer, it's to what you said, the ability to say, actually, I do not know, but let me go find out.
100%.
That to me is more valuable than anyone trying to fake it till they make it. And of course, there's always an element of that in every job, especially if you're a career-driven person like yourself. There's always that element of learning. You don't, by taking on an opportunity you haven't done before, you don't know what you're doing. And it's that persistence and resilience to find out. So to me, as much in the market right now, I think is very different than what we're used to. There's a lot of experienced people in the market who are available, and it's tough, right? So for me, it's looking for those traits over experience that is key right now. What about you?
That's exactly what I would like, because that has, in this 1 minute of that answer, you've told me so much about yourself. And that's my last question to most of my interviewers. People who are listening, or youngsters who are listening to this conversation, it's very, very difficult to be vulnerable and say, I need help. But trust me, the moment you do that, it fast tracks and accelerates you. Because the people who have gotten to where they are, of course, some had the means of accessibility to different things, but a lot of them have just asked for help. Period.
If you don't get what you're going for, find out your gaps. And find lateral moves to get yourself exposed to get that experience. So let's say, because you were in sales, you led a sales team. Let's say it's someone in sales who really wants a management job. And I feel like that's
a very common question, by the way.
very common. It's a common thing that people talk about, right?
Yeah.
I hit my targets.
First is, so you said you're really good at sales.
Yep.
You've probably got a Luminary Award. Everything is perfect. You've proven your success from a customer standpoint. The first thing I tell people is first, why do you want to be a manager? Just, why do you want to be a manager? Oh, I love people. I love interacting with people. Great.
You can interact with your customers.
Yes. Why do you want to be a manager?
Yeah.
Really figure out why you want to be a manager. On this podcast, I'm going to myth bust. Being a manager, it's not easy. It's very, very, very tough.
Yes.
That's because you're not just doing your job now, you're managing emotions of people. And you need to do it in a way that's compliant.
Yeah.
And you need to give them a listening ear. There's all of that stuff.
You need to motivate them.
You need to motivate them. Otherwise, because being a leader also means that people have to believe in what you say.
Yes.
They have to see the strength in you
Yeah.
to lead them forward.
Incredibility, the strength.
So,
yeah.
coming back to the question, why you want to be a manager?
Yeah.
And then
most of the time you see it, and I'm sure you see this all the time, is I want more money and I want the next promotion versus the people side.
Yeah. Let me just tell you, you could make more money even without being a manager. And still have a lot more peace of mind in this age and time, which is all the more difficult. But what I'll say is my second question then pivots once we've figured out what the value prop of why you want to be a manager is to then figure out really aspects of what's missing. So you've been a great salesperson. You've proven success outside with your customers.
Yeah.
I go back to, do you have any instances in your toolkit where you have actually been mentoring people?
Yeah.
And let's be very, there is a huge distinction in like mentoring and coaching.
Yes.
So people think it's one of the same thing. I could just go talk and like hold a training and I'm mentoring people. Please do not do that.
Yeah.
That's not true. Mentoring and coaching are very different things. Understand the differentiation and work on it. But have you mentored people? Have you coached people? How have you helped them, right? And if you've not done it, so be it. Like you don't need a titled role to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
What you need is you need a start with people.
Yeah.
And you could, and that happens with networking. It happens with talking to people, the next person who's coming on the team, like taking a step up to do something internally.
Yeah.
That could be one way to do it.
Yeah.
And then the most important piece is, I go back to the same thing. If you're doing this, right, are you in your OKR setting or talking to your leaders? Because very many times you'll have folks coming and telling me, I want to be a manager.
Yeah.
Sure, you want to be a manager, so you want to be my peer. You have to expand your skill set to now going to 1 or 2 levels above to be viewed and perceived like a manager.
Yeah.
So the question you need to be asking your manager is, hey, Mr. or Miss Manager, how can you provide me a platform
an opportunity to speak.
to be more visible, to be positioned as the next best leader within your team, rather than saying, can you find me a manager? No one is going to find you. It's your journey. You create your space and you create your own background. It's like going back to 101, writing your own resume for the next best job.
I agree. I think you have so many nuggets in there. I think number one lesson is, even if you're performing at the level, and in some cases, yes, people get promoted. It happens. It's amazing that it happens. But in reality, in most cases, doing what you're doing may not be enough. So I think as a leader, you said, number one, identify your why. Is it really worth you giving up the autonomy, being an individual contributor for you? Are you able to do that? And then stepping up to own something for your manager, understanding what's important to your manager, and then asking them, if you own that for them, to give visibility, to provide updates and what you're working on, to have that platform for you to be viewed as a leader.
Yep.
And I think the one I'll add to it is raise your hand.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I've learned, I've been in positions with VP titles with no direct reports, and I love that because it's a great title and you don't own anything, but you get to build. I think in that way, as an individual contributor, the titles doesn't matter, but it's the ability to bring people together.
Yeah.
So if you raise your hand to nominate yourself to run something that's important to your manager, are you capable of bringing more cross-functional teams together to drive to that? That's the biggest test, I think, in my experience, to see, can you lead?
Yeah.
Because leading your team and having people report to you is one thing, but being a true leader is going beyond that scope.
I managed several industries back at Google. And then from there, I used to manage sales for the Australian team, got to visit Australia, did some direct sales there as a lead, and, managed some of the really large retail businesses in Australia. We started closing revenue and came back because prior to that, I was managing the US business. I was like, you know what? I can do this.
Yeah.
Right? So I tested the waters a little bit. I'm not the person who'd be like, oh, yes, tomorrow morning, I'm going to join HR. I'm not that person. But I tested the waters and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. What's stopping me from doing that? Got a role, I applied quite a bit. Let me tell you, I failed, had lots of interviews and said, okay, no. So it's not
internally?
Yeah, internally. I got, I think, at 9 no's or something like that. I counted in a book at that point in time. But, the one in New York clicked and I came here and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm here.
Yeah.
And new culture, no friends at, right, in New York. It is very easy for people to pick up their bags and go to Mountain View as the Mecca.
Yeah.
And I came here and it's like, oh my gosh, I have maybe 1, 2, 3 friends, time zone difference. I can't call people.
And your family's
home. My family's home.
Yeah.
This is me. I'm navigating, I don't know, how do you go to the SSN office? And what do I need to do? And how do I go and where's the money going? Oh my gosh, money, where is it going to come from?
Yeah.
Google was great just to get me started here. But there was so much relearning, unlearning that happened within me. Now that I look hindsight, it was so fun.
Yeah.
Just learning through the entire, the experience of moving from a culture and coming here. Did all of that. And then, again, talking about linear growth, I became a lead, starting businesses and things like that, taking a seat at C-level, conversations, leading the conversation. Had some amazing managers where I would go with directors at Google and be and they would teach me this, we would sit outside a customer's, lobby and just whiteboard on what we're going to talk and how we're going to position and things like that.
Do you think that's because it was a smaller region at the time versus Mountain View that you got more exposure?
I don't think it was, no, I don't think it's a smaller region. I was very fortunate to do things. One, if I didn't know, I would just ask.
Yeah.
I would go for, I was not afraid. So when they were like, oh, you have to go to this customer's meeting and this director is there, I'm like, this is the talk track. This is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And this is how we're going to ask for X million dollars, right? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, so let me be the devil's advocate. And it would be
balance.
Sitting down there and being the devil's advocate outside the customer's lobby and being like, oh, Cassie, maybe this, maybe this, right? And position this. And I started, and some of those, it's a sport, right?
Yeah.
Some of the raps I used to get around that, honestly, it's tough because taking feedback then and there, it's oh my gosh, I'm already
ready.
I'm already nervous and someone's breaking my bubble here. But it was great.
Yeah.
It was great because I learned so much. And what happened was I started emulating some of these behaviors that came very naturally. So I think after the 5th or 6th round, I started becoming my own devil's advocate about
that
things.
became your own practice.
Yeah, that was my own practice. Like, okay, what would that mentor of mine come and do? Like, what kind of research? Oh, they would pull up 10Ks.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Let me just do it now
Yeah,
itself, right?
yeah.
And I look more prepared to this.
Yeah.
Oh, let me look at what's happening. What has the CEO called out in terms of business challenges?
Yeah.
Let me look at their narrative that,
Yeah.
last quarterly
Quarterly
statement.
review.
And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So I started doing that, very like core
Yeah.
as a business. I started doing that. And then I've seen people and started seeing leaders to do like going into sales meetings with authenticity to say, I understand. Fine, you don't have budgets. This is what we can do.
Yeah.
Oh, you want this? Let me come back to you. I don't have an answer for you right now.
Yeah.
I'm fine to say I don't have an answer. That's a great perspective.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, but I don't have the answer to
Yeah.
do it right now. The trust that I have built and some of my customers have built, I still have CEOs and CMOs like, come and tell me, you were one of the best that we had, right? And the energy that I got from those conversations was fundamental energy that got me to where I am today. And that's just been the journey of
But I
me.
think
Like,
you have so much important information in there, because I think if anyone's in sales, they're preparing the speech. I see this every day where it's like, here are my slides, here's my demo, and the listening part goes out of the window.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's just pure sales. You can be in any role possible. It's listening to the people and understanding what are they looking to solve before you even pitch anything.
Yeah.
And to your point, like, I feel like you have so much in there that I need to unpack a little bit for our audience. I think it's being fearless and being authentic to who you are, to listen and understand what they're looking to solve before you even pitch anything.
Yeah.
Because even if you're pitching something and knowing your product and data center to cloud migration, whatever you're selling, is that fundamentally solving the business challenge they're facing as a business today?
Yeah.
And is this a top priority? And if you understand the top priorities first and really know the business, you create such a different relationship than you going and demoing and pitching and showing your perfect slides.
100%. I couldn't have said it better. I have to tell the story, but it is a good story in a way that, I did get some stares around, oh, you are, because of course, accent was not the same.
Well,
right?
I'm sorry, your name is Cassandra Rodrigues.
Correct.
And you're from India.
I'm from India.
Just
I'm
let
Portuguese lineage.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm from everywhere.
accent, the name, I'm sure there's looks
It's confusing.
and
I'm confused.
people are also challenging your credibility. Right?
Correct.
That's a for immigrants. I feel like that's a given.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the CMOs, came up and said, oh, so you're from India? And it's like, yeah, I am. So you do understand the US market?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, I have sold to the US market. It's like, I don't think so you'd know much about the business and, and
What
how
a
we
lovely
operate.
person.
I know, such a great, the person is lovely. I'll tell you the good side of the story. And I was like, and it was me alone in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a moment and I didn't know, like, it was a little bit of like, what
Yeah.
just happened?
Yeah.
And I just said one thing. And I don't know from what happened to my brain, and it worked in the right way or whatever. And I said, yeah, you know what? I might not know your business,
Yeah.
but I know that you know the business really well. So if you tell me everything about the business, about your goals and what you're trying to do, and with my knowledge about 6 years
Of
that
Google.
I've had of Google and selling Google products, how about I think about partnering together to help you have this conversation
Oh my
and then
God,
take it
that's
forward.
Such a good pivot.
Don't ask me how I said that. And I think that caught the
Yeah,
person off guard.
yeah.
But I know that the person was joking, like
Yeah.
because
But she was also, or he was
was-
also
yeah.
challenging it.
yeah, I think that I think you're right. He was challenging, but he stepped out of the room. He went to the CEO and said, the CEO is an Indian. And he said, there's this person who's come from India and she wants to know about the business. It's like, CEO was like, go talk to her now.
Yeah.
And from there, this person has just been a true, like, we've had a great relationship, great partnership, but even after Google, this person still is the person that I would call up and be like, oh, so now I don't know about the business. So can you help me here?
Yeah. I love that story because I have something similar. I was really early and very fortunate in my career where I got into tech. I believe I was 23. I got promoted to a team lead at 24 and I became a director at 25 or 26. And I got this new role and I went and present a very similar story to you. I went into the room and they're like, present your strategy to 2 sales leaders. And I present and they didn't interview me. They didn't know me. So I'm this 24-year-old presenting my strategy. And I remember the VP of sales that goes, wrong. This won't work. You know, that exact same feeling that you went through. And I'm like, holy cow, what do I do? What do I do? And he goes, think again, come back later. And I'm back to the drawing board. But I came back and I said, listen, I might not understand your business, but I know my job. So tell me about your business and what you need, and I will help you. And I had to move to New York for 3 months to really get into the office, learn the process. And he's till this day my number one mentor that I call. Very, very similar. Those are the most challenging people and the best people I think you meet in your
And
career.
those are the instances that make you.
Yeah.
I've done sales all my life. Tomorrow, if I want to go be a CMO, run a business myself, what are the skill sets in this marketing landscape that I do not have? I knew 2 things. I always want to stay in AI because I understand. I now know from coming from media, selling into like AI, that connection is very unique, right? A driven perspective to me as a person.
Yeah.
How do I take it forward from here?
Yeah.
And then from there started looking again. It was a lot of no's, and also like, knocking the doors, not happening. Oh my gosh. This role came up, and before this role came up, I actually said, I've written an article called The Clarity Reset. And I was like, okay, this is the moment. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that helped me immensely because I think I was running at a rate where, for all folks listening, it's a high-paced job. And it started affecting the way I was working 9 and 10 hours and like, okay, and I have 2 kids at home who are small, running a family, all of that stuff. And tying it back to the immigration story, folks like us do not have a good support system in the US. So every freaking thing is on you.
Yeah, you're the best.
My son is out of class. I need to be there. And I need to be on the sales calls as well.
Yeah.
People whom I look up to
Yeah.
are the people who I personally pinged, wrote an email, and will say, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm making this career change.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for really like being and sticking with me. And I've sent that email out,
Yeah.
right? Like without any qualms, saying thank you so much
Yeah.
because you added value. And they might have not promoted me, but I learned something from them.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
think that goes a long way. Don't burn bridges as you're making this tough decision. You never know when
Life always came a full circle for me.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I would say, I'm trying to think. I think every big career shift I had in my career was because of someone somewhere worked with me, saw my value, and wanted me to come to the next place. Like we follow people we like to work with.
Yes.
And we look for opportunities where we're inspired.
Yes.
And I think 18 years at Google is a long time. If I were to encourage anyone, and I do this with my team, and I know it's risky, but it's an important thing to do, and I think you're teaching us here, is know your value outside of your job today.
100%.
And I encourage people to interview at least once a year.
Yes.
Because it's less risky, you're not stressed, but you can at least know what the market is looking for.
Yes.
Are you being comped to what you should be comped on? And what are you missing?
Yeah.
What are you missing to bring into the market that has constantly shifting? Like we went from on-prem to cloud to now AI everything, right? And are you capable of making that shift and adding value in the market today? I think that's a really important conversation. My favorite question that I love to ask in the end, if you think about your career journey and your life, what are your 3 rules to thrive?
Oof. I think one thing I'm very clear about, right? I think I've said this multiple times in the podcast, is fail fast. Learn, own it, and walk on. Every failure will teach you something. That's one. Second one will be ask and you shall receive. It's it's very difficult to be there, thinking about like, is that senior executive going to say no? But honestly, you know what? No one has the time or the patience to sit and ponder over these things. It's only us. We as the person, when we're asking questions, we think about it several times.
Yeah.
No one else is evaluating you as much as you are critically thinking about yourself. So ask, you shall receive is my biggest mantra, because I want to get the next best promotion. I want to be a manager. I want to be X, Y, and Z. You need a support system and you need a career, like a crew for your career.
Yeah.
Like if there's one thing that you want to take from this podcast is like, identify your crew who's going to help assist you, right? And finally, is just be authentic. There is nothing in saying I failed. There is I don't know. I literally told in the new role, I literally went and told my senior leadership, hey, listen, I don't know much about this product. I'm new here. Can I just do a dry run with you? Like, I'm going to pitch it to you, okay?
Yeah, and you challenge me.
I did that. You challenged me. And she was kind enough to say, you know what, we're going to record this. I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to record it. That means I'm going to see myself over and over again now.
Yeah.
But, that was amazing.
Yeah.
If you recording yourself and sometimes for pitches and stuff does wonders, because you can give yourself a lot of feedback, but just be authentic. If you are not something, just because you need to fit into the next best role or get the new job, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it, because you will invariably fail. Know exactly, one of the lessons that I've learned in my life is know exactly what you're really, really good at.
Yeah.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your story, and we can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you. Appreciate it here. Appreciate the time.